a child was shot yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that too. $8,583 people in the United States were murdered with the use of firearms in 2011 alone. 565 of them were under the age of 18. 119 of them were 12 or younger. In 2008 and 2009, gun violence was the #1 killer of African American males between the ages of 15 to 19. And although African American children were less than 15% of the total child population, they accounted for 45% of all youth gun deaths.
And our mayor and our council members, we're working so hard at the federal level to find every dime we can find for violence prevention efforts. Violence prevention efforts, mind you.
Oh yeah, we going. We pay taxes. We want to be protected. And we want our children to be able to grow up and be adults and not die at 15, 16, and 17 years old. And the only way that's going to take place is when we stop the silence to stop the violence.
Stop complaining if you're not going to do anything about it. Don't complain. Don't call me and tell me I know who killed my son. Call the police department. They the police. But you got to be ready. When you say you're ready, you better be ready. Because some of our children are going to be arrested for some of these murders. You got to be ready.
The guns in our community didn't just come into our community the last several days. It's been happening over a period of time. The drugs in our community didn't just happen in the last couple of days. It's been happening over a long period of time. This has to be a movement, a daily movement to embrace the kids in our community.
There are families, friends, and neighbors dying senseless, violent deaths. And we absolutely must do something about it. Enough is enough. The Enough is Enough crisis in the city is a multimedia proactive solution to gun violence in our city streets. This media campaign is developed to create and distribute ongoing public service messages and events to the community and the nation at large. By using electronic media, billboards, our political representation, town hall social events, and entertainment artists, we will bring communities together to stop the gun violence on our nation's streets with our slogan, Enough is Enough. We have studied one of the root problems of violence. It can start in the form of bullying at an early age. Our anti-bully campaign helps us to deal with bullying issues one-on-one and in group levels in our No Bully Zone Challenge Day program.
Well, state code, state law in California really does prohibit bullying, so California is ahead of the rest of the nation with regard to our state education code. But I'm really happy that the federal government has taken a look at this, taken a look at our schools and said that we have to do better. So I know that the Office of Civil Rights is taking a look at bullying as a national issue. And not only should we spotlight the issue, we have to do something about it. And that's what we're doing by bringing Challenge Day into our school district.
You know, everybody's talking about bullying. It's becoming a national issue. How do you feel about that?
Well, as the president said, we really have to change this notion that somehow being bullied and harassed is a rite of passage in our schools. So for example, we have launched dozens of investigations into bullying and harassment. We have, for the first time in history, written federal guidance on the civil rights implications and the civil rights responsibilities of adults in schools to spot bullying and harassment, to prevent it from happening again, and to stop it if it is happening. We've seen far too many tragedies, children dying from being subject to this kind of bullying and harassment. So you can bet we are taking it on as an administration in the Office for Civil Rights for the first time in history and working to really change those patterns.
What has always stood true to this day is that if you don't say anything or nobody knows about it, it never gets better, it just gets worse.
We take it to a different place where we get to actually be honest about what has really happened to us in our lives, both in our homes and at school, which means that walls start to fall down that kids aren't even sure other kids have. We spend so much time thinking we're the only ones. Nobody knows what it's like I know what it's like, that by giving permission for everybody to get real, we also give permission for people to know what's true about the people they see every day, what's true about the people they tease or pick on, what's true about the people that are bullying them. And we get to find out we're a lot more alike than different, so that by the end of the day, when we hand them the microphone and we talk to young people about, teach us who you are, teach us what you want from your school, they're ready.
With our educational professionals who specialize in social behavior, we find that violence can be deep-rooted from a personal experience from childhood or adults. In the series, The Violence Within Us, hosted by Dr. Henry L. Anderson.
Dr. Henry Anderson is going to interview Dr. Norm Lee. And we're going to talk about a subject that is important to all of us, that impacts our lives locally, nationally, internationally. And that topic is the violence within us. We see this violence in our sports, we see it in television, we see it in our theater, we see it all around us. And we see some ugly evidences of the cruelty and the utter violence of the human being. And we wonder, where does this violence come from? Hopefully, after this interview, you'll have a better idea. And you can look within yourself and identify symptoms that might remind you that perhaps you too can be a victim of the violence within us.
With the support of community organizations that work with youth, like the Oakland Black Cowboy Association's Buckaroo program in the Oakland Public Schools and in the City of Oakland's Park and Recreation Department, children are exposed to a calm and peaceful environment with gentle horses and adult mentoring.
Well, you know, this is one of Oakland's great traditions, and a lot of young people particularly don't know about the history of the Black Cowboys, particularly their role in settling California. And this is, to me, one of the real things I look forward to each year.
Boys to Men is a nonprofit organization created for youth development. They do remarkable work to provide our youth with direction and guidance.
My name is Reverend Cornell Gilkey Sr., and this is Boys to Men Youth Outreach. And the purpose of Boys to Men Youth Outreach is to decrease the violence in the Oakland community, to turn boys and girls to be respectful, successful, and productive with a positive outlook on life. Our goal is to lead the youth in the right direction build positive interaction between students and adults, increase their confidence level, show you positive ways and alternative to a variety of situations by teaching diversity, leadership, cultural awareness, and coping skills, while building up their self-esteem and discipline, while discovering one's strengths and abilities. This is what we do over here at 5311 Fairfax Avenue. We take youth from the age of 6 years old up to 15 years old, and this is the after-school leadership program, which it runs 12 months out of the year. Even during the summer hours, our hours are from 12 noon to 6 p.m. And what we do is we character build, we teach these children the do's and don'ts in the game of life and how to survive by doing the right thing. All our young folks just haven't been taught the right values. So what we're doing here right now is we're teaching them the moral values so they don't walk around with their pants sagging. They don't disrespect women like we see so much in our videos and in the media. Those type of things that we're trying to stop and to teach them values, how to respect themselves so they can respect each other. And they don't wind up here on the wall of shame. And the wall of shame is, these are the homicides that's been going on in Oakland from 2005 up to now. So we want to stop that. We just want to decrease it, and eventually we're going to stop it through education and training.
East Oakland Youth Development Center, EODYC, is the ideal place where youth can aspire to achieve success in life through social gatherings for educational opportunities that lead them into becoming productive citizens.
Aubrey Common. My major is business management. I go to Texas Southern in Houston. And just to say something about respect, real easy. Just treat others the way you want to be treated.
With the development of our media campaign, Enough is Enough, Crisis in the City, we will reach the community with a series of multimedia messages that reflect alternative lifestyles from the path of violent behavior.
People that's out there with the violence and the stuff that's surrounding us in our neighborhood, how can we motivate them to be not more like us, but in a sense, favorable in the same way to where we can all get along without so much violence in the area, That's what we're trying to figure out. How can we motivate our young people and, people that's our age to be more positive, to want more? Because a lot of people now, they pretty much set in their ways. People that's our age, they really don't care. Like he said, he walked around in fear and he ain't getting nothing to nobody. So we want to know, how do we do what you guys are doing, but how do we do it to the kids and the young adult? That's what he's trying to say.
This is a real problem in the city now, getting to young men like you. There is a center here in this building called the Scotland Youth and Family Counseling Center. If you would be so kind as to come there during the weekdays, they're open from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 in the afternoon, and give your names. Speak to a man named Matthew Graves or my son, Bill Patterson, and let them help you find your way through the maze so that you can get the kind of help that you want and you can spread the word. They're really making an effort to open doors at this point in time, particularly for the young people in the community, many of whom don't have the support system that most of us had growing up. And that's a place where you can get a start. Now, they're on the second floor in this building. You come in Monday through Friday during those hours, and just give them your name. Tell them that Bill Patterson told you to come, and if they don't get back to you, I will.
This media campaign has real solutions for inner city youth who are the victims by influences that are recognized and brought to a form where real solutions can be put into place that will eliminate the leading contributions to the violence within us.
Enough is enough. Our babies are dying before their time. When are we going to learn that gun violence is not the answer? We got to have programs to keep our people off these streets. We have got to stop killing each other today. Today. Today.
What's up?